Good morning. It's Wednesday, February 14th. And yesterday when I was preparing this rant, I was sitting in my den watching the snow fall through the glass doors. And it was falling very slowly in the beginning when I started this rant, and then it picked up its pace. And then I looked outside to see how the car was doing, and I don't usually leave the car out because I put it in to charge it every day. But I didn't need to do that yesterday, so started sitting out there, and I knew that at some point I would have to go out and clean the car and shovel the driveway. So that's how I started the day yesterday. But today is St. Valentine's Day, a day for love. And I don't think I have much love out there in the world today the way things are happening. But I do want to tell you about one thing that was important. And the Senate is we call them the perpetrators of this deal. The senators have passed a bill that is going to help Ukraine, etc. $95 billion. And this is what's included in that bill. The passing of that bill is setting up a showdown with Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, because he has claimed that he's against this and he's not going to get this thing passed. And that's one of the disgraceful elements that exist in our system, that we can have something very important put aside or destroyed by one person. Mitch McConnell was notorious for that. In his term in the Senate, when he was the leader of the Senate, nothing got passed. And I still remember when Merrick Garland was picked to be on the Supreme Court with 8 months to go in the presidency. McConnell delayed the vote on him, and luckily for McConnell and poor judgment for the rest of the country, Donald Trump won the election, and we ended up with a Supreme Court that is packed with conservatives. So in any event, that's the situation that we are in right now. We can pass a bill, the Senate can pass a bill, but the Congress has to pass something also. And Johnson has categorically said he is against this. Now, this is an aid package that has assistance for the Ukraine and assistance for Israel in the package. And it has humanitarian assistance for the civilians of Gaza, for the West Bank, among its other priorities. And right now, everything is up in the air because it's not clear whether Johnson will hold a vote on it. And many House Republicans are opposed to further aid for the Ukraine. And I personally believe they should get all the aid they need. But the reason this war is dragging on is because we and many of our allies who have given aid to Ukraine have given aid with stipulations that certain weapons could not be used a certain way, and it impacted on the way that Ukraine can fight back. So we have our own problem in the war in the Ukraine about ending this war, because we put some handcuffs on what Zelensky was allowed to do with that money. What he was allowed to do, they really didn't get money. They got weapons and things like that. So what he was allowed to do with the weapons, he could not attack Russia the way Russia was attacking him. And so that has caused this war to drag on for 2 years now somehow? Now, Johnson's criticism did not stop the bill from being passed. And the Senate passed it by a huge margin, 70 votes to 29 votes. And 22 Republicans in the Senate voted in favor of the bill. including the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. And McConnell said, history settles every account, and today, on the value of American leadership and strength, history will record that the Senate did not blink. So McConnell is out there saying the Senate did wonderful things. But I don't know if Johnson is listening. So it's in Johnson's hand, and they will have to figure out a way forward. They'll have to do it in their way, but we needed to start the process and get that thing done. And that's what another Republican said, John Thune. That's what he told reporters. Now, the Senate passed the legislation after the Republicans had blocked the previous border bill that would have also had foreign aid. So now the ball is in the Republicans' court, and we'll see what they can do with it. Chuck Schumer has gone on record urging Mike Johnson to get this bill passed. And of course, our former president is not in favor of this bill. And he has come out with some dumb statements claiming that the U.S. should not grant foreign aid unless it's a loan. So he was saying that he's basically opposed to the legislation unless it's a loan. And Trump has also indicated that he would encourage Russian aggression against any NATO member that doesn't pay enough. So Donald Trump is a money man, and the money is always going into his pocket. So he doesn't believe in giving anybody anything for nothing. But that's not the way he lives his life, taking all the donors' money and spending it on his defense. All of the campaign funds is spending on his lawyers to defend him for these 91 counts. And of course, Senator Tommy Tuberville, the one who blocked the promotions of many in our armed forces, agrees with Trump, saying NATO members should be paying their dues or risk Putin invading their country. Those are the kinds of people we have in this country, in places of power, who really, really don't understand the way of the world. We're a very powerful country, and we need to do as much good as we possibly can. And it's only in some of our foolish actions that we get screwed, because our leaders are not the brightest people in the world either, and we have to recognize that. But in this case, I believe the Senate did the right thing getting these bills passed. And now they turn the responsibility over to the House of Representatives, led by a guy who is hanging on to the Speaker's job by the skin of his teeth. And who knows what he will force Congress to do. But I believe congressmen might be smarter than Mike Johnson, and they will step to the plate and support the bill. Unfortunately, Johnson has the power to not even let Congress vote on this bill. So this is a bill that is desperately needed, and let's see what our Congress does with that. So I leave you with this conundrum this morning. Have a great day. Bye.